So I want to demonstrate this OT101. Now the first time I did it, I used Debian 11. Now I found out that when I'm broadcasting, I shouldn't run virtual machines on the same hardware, so I'm remotely connecting to my Mac M1, and that had Debian 10 on it. And I tried, and these instructions don't work for Debian 10. I end up in many layers of dependency problems, and I couldn't solve them. So I just installed Debian 12 on there, and I imagine it'll work on Debian 12, but we're going to see. So here's my SSH shell into my Debian 12 machine. And as before, it is a network install, which is kind of a minimal install. So you don't have all the usual, I prefer to use headless servers, but they don't have everything pre-installed on them, like they don't have Git. This also didn't seem to have some common network commands like dhclient and such. Oh, it doesn't have sudo. That's one thing I hadn't anticipated. I solved this with a student recently, how to install sudo on a Debian 12. Okay, now apt get install sudo. Okay, I thought so. So first I need to su to root. Okay, and now let's make sure I'm networking. Well, I guess I do, or I wouldn't be able to connect here. So then I can do apt install sudo. I don't know why they don't have sudo on these machines. It's ridiculous. Now I have to do sbin add user. Okay. Debian to, whoops, yeah, add user Debian sudo. All right. Now I exit. That should take me back to here. Now I probably need to exit and reconnect to relog in as Debian. Okay, now I can do sudo who am I and see if it works. All right, good. So now I have sudo. That's something. Now I can return back to here. And try sudo apt get install git. And git clone to get the OpenPLC stuff, which will imitate a programmable logic controller. All right, now I'm in the CD, so now I can do .install Linux. And we'll see what happens. Going to compile and install this software, which will take a minute or two. And the main thing is to see if it crashes missing dependencies or something, which happened a lot in Debian 10. Looks pretty good. Oh, something went by, but hopefully not too fatal. It's building something. Okay, let's see if it's going to work now. I'm just taking a note. I'm going to have to put that sudo stuff in there. All right, let's see if I can start this thing with just sudo start. Ah, good. All right, so on Debian 11 and Debian 12, it seems to be fine. And so now it's going to run a web service on here. So I can just open that and get the graphical console, and the username and password by default are OpenPLC. All right, so and I don't, sure, I'll save it. All right, so now I have a programmable logic controller simulation available. All right. Now we're going to add a slave device. I've got a whole series of setups for that, so let me move my windows over so I can see them both at the same time. All right, so I go to slave devices, add new device. All right, and so there's my name. And for device type, we're going to take generic Modbus. All right, give it an ID of 1 and the IP address of my Linux machine, which is up here, 192.168.0.36. And the port is 502, the default port for Modbus. And now over here, I need 0 and 8 discrete inputs. 8, I say there. 0, 8, 0, 8, 0, 8, 0. No particular reason. I'm just simulating something with a variety of registers. All right, and then save device. So you see the device summarized there. All right. Now we start the PLC. And the way Modbus works, which we talked about before, is the endpoint slave device runs a server listening for commands. Same thing's true of a lot of games people install. So operation refused, slave 1 is disconnected, hopefully. Yeah, listening on a client for new client, I think that's fine. Yep, waiting for new client. Okay. All right, now we got to get QMaster, and this is something I've used in previous projects, and it only runs on Windows. To find the software that was reliable enough to use, I had to mix Linux and Windows here. Let's see if I probably don't have Modbus Master on this Windows machine. I don't think I've used this one for these PLC projects before. Let's just take a look in the Downloads folder and see. I got DNT3. Maybe I do have QMod Master in here. Looks like I don't. All right, so let's get that. I want Firefox. My resolution is cartoonishly big on my Windows machine, but I think I can use it this way, and I'll probably do so. I need to have this URL. All right, copy and paste might work in this remote desktop protocol. Looks like it does. All right, there's QMod Master. So let me shrink the font so I can see the download button. All right. And looks like it's coming down. Okay. Good. All right, so I need to unzip this with extract all, extract. And I think in here I have just a executable to run. All right, good. All right, and there it is. So this simulates the master that is going to control the simulated machine on my Linux box. So I do options, Modbus TCP, and put in the address of the Linux server again. Options, Modbus TCP, and I'm going to need this not to go to the local box, but my Linux server, which was 192.168.0.36. It is using the default port, though, so I say OK. And now I need to set it to mode TCP, which is what I'm using. I don't know what that RTU thing is, but whatever it is, we're not using it. And now I try to connect. And let me bring my Linux terminal up to where we can see some information. There it's showing some gets for logs already going through. When I do this, it looks like it's successfully connected. which is good. And if I look in the GUI here, yep, I should see, yep, client accepted, new client. So good. It looks like the Windows and Linux machine are correctly connecting together. So now I can, in here, I can start reading data. So I set the unit ID to 1, which is the default. Then I have read coils, and I would like to read 5 coils. And now this button will read them. And so the coils, in fact, all have zeros. All right. Now we can pick up the data from Wireshark. I think, I'm thinking about whether I think I can just run it on my Mac here. I could run it on the Windows machine. That might be a little bit cleaner. Let's put it on the Windows machine. I won't get a lot of extra background network traffic that way. Let's see if I can find the top of this Windows machine. There we go. And now, if I can find, there we are. That's what I wanted. Find the taskbar on Windows and search for Wireshark. Ah, we do have Wireshark. Okay. All right. So start sniffing. And yes, since I'm controlling it over RDP, there is going to be a lot of junk in here. I wonder if I'll be able to filter for Modbus traffic. I think I might be able to. Let's see if I can filter for Modbus. Well, all right, we're going to see if this works. I'm not sure if the traffic we're doing is recognized as Modbus or Modbus TCP, but we're going to see. So now I'm going to read the 5 coils again and see what we get. So I want to go into here, into my Windows machine, and Alt-Tab to get back to here and read those 5 coils again. Getting some stupid graphic here indicating that it's not accepting my moving out of Wireshark. Alt-Tab. All right, now I finally got it to listen to me. Let's see if I can read coils. With the read, okay, I did read good, and I got some traffic. All right, so this worked. I got my Modbus query and my Modbus response. So that's not bad. Okay. All right, and that's all I wanted to do here was begin getting the traffic. And so you can see the Modbus protocol is understood by Wireshark by one of those dissectors I was answering a question about earlier that are written by amateurs. And in fact, we're going to find some bugs as you go forward in the dissectors. And here it goes, doing Modbus TCP. This is a query. And it's not, here's the function code, read coils. Okay, so it's there. It's read coils, read 5 bits. And here's the response that shows, here's the bits it found. So you see how very simple this protocol is. There's no password, no authentication, no encryption. It's just a simple functional protocol to make a request and then a response to get data from the slave. So that's all there is to this one. It's mostly just setting up the machines and the software, but you do get your first look at these network connections here. So let me stop this recording